The summer of gaming looks to be insane. There will be some winners, but also many losers. We got some new games that will be added to the already very long list. I want to go over Summer Game Fest that announced the first shows as well. Some Star Wars game reveals are incoming, and way more gaming news. So sit back and let's go. Let's start with the first leak that comes from the publisher itself, so it doesn't have to be covered in the rumor roundup later on in the video. Like we knew, Mafia the Old Country would drop in the summer, but now Take-Two reveals that it's actually August 8th. They put it in a Steam blog post that is still up, but they removed the mention of the date, but we got the Spanish screenshot where we still see it in the final paragraph. The blog post talks about a PAX East panel on May 8th that we can watch live on their YouTube and Twitch as well, so it seems like that will be the big coming out party with the new gameplay trailer and other rare behind the scenes looks at the past, present and future of the franchise. It's been long overdue because ever since the Gamescom reveal we've not heard anything about this new Mafia set in Sicily during the 20th century. We play Enzo, who had an awful youth working in the mines of this Italian island, so is now looking for a better life by proving himself to the Don Torossi Mafia family. It should be a more linear game, so still have an open space, but not really be open world like Mafia 3. Anger 13 is of course the developer. They did Mafia 3 and the Definitive Edition, so they haven't really launched a new game since 2016. Lots riding on it for them. Let me know if you are curious about it in the comments. I do think the first trailer looks promising. So another game to add to the growing list of games coming out in the summer of death, aka August until the end of September. Of course, a returning segment here in these Sunday videos because I just cannot see all these games doing well. It's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be really bad. But we know why these games are all stacking up on top of each other, because GTA 6 is, at least right now, seemingly still planned for the end of October or mid-November, so you don't want to launch around that time. And that list I showed you is not even the full list, as we also have rumor titles planned for that window, launches for existing games. I can see Ghost of Yotei around this time if Sony has another big fall game. We of course know about the rumored God of War. And now another big challenger has entered the scene. Marathon from Bungie is of course the first game they will put out after being bought by PlayStation. It's coming out on the same day as Borderlands 4, September 23rd. Now we of course don't really cover these extraction shooters here on the channel, but I do want to quickly touch on the reveal because of its importance for the industry, as a lot is riding on it for Bungie, as Destiny 2's population has been in decline. And of course Sony invested almost $4 billion into this studio to have a huge game like this. So this should have been a home run, but I'm not fully convinced yet. I watched the gameplay trailers and videos from creators who got their hands on with the game, and the common takeaway is that it of course really feels great to play. Bungie is of course known for the amazing gunplay. You either really like the art style or not. I think it's cool that they totally have their own distinct look, but that own spin seems to be lacking in the regular extraction gameplay, as you're dropped on this map in a group of 3 and then have to do simple tasks like hold this point to get loot and then extract. It's nothing too exciting or something you've not seen before, so all of these activities are against AI enemies and they seem to be very well made and challenging, but the PvP aspect seems to be lacking. Like, you are on the map with a ton of other players, but there are not a lot of friction points where you actually fight. Sure, it's still work in progress, but it's also already launching in 5 months and there's no new player onboarding, no story elements whatsoever, no ranked mode. It really seems that they want to get a vanilla blueprint version of the game out, a 0.5, and then work on it based on feedback from their players. But then to ask a $40 price tag that you and 2 friends have to pay to play together will be a hard sell in a already really crowded extraction shooter landscape. I could argue that when Destiny 1 released, it was also pretty bare bones, but it at least was something new for the time, so you wanted to be a part of it. Marathon looks like a game you already played. It seems way too late to the party, and a cool coat of paint never helped a game like this survive. We will have to wait and see. Of course, I'm hoping for the best. A popular live service game for Sony only means more money they can also invest in single player games that we love. But this reveal is not the home run that it needed to be. A closed alpha is, by the way, happening on April 23rd. We'll leave a link to the Discord so you can sign up if you want. But yeah, 5 months before launch, lots of things seem to be missing. Of course, let me know what you think of the marathon reveal in the comments down below. I'm very curious. Now let's look at Summer Game Fest, the first shows that have been revealed, and some other gaming news. Of course, if you liked the video so far, leave a like, that would really help me out, so thanks for that. And subscribe, because we post one of these big gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. First, before Summer Game Fest, we can expect some Star Wars game news at the Star Wars Celebration. There's a new turn-based tactics game coming, Star Wars Zero Company is what it's called. Think XCOM, but with Star Wars characters. Looks kinda cool, should be announced on April 19th. While the second Star Wars Outlaws DLC will be showcased on April 18th, and I expect a release date relatively soon, like a May or June launch. I really like the first DLC for Outlaws, so I hope this second expansion is even better. We'll of course give you the roundup in the Sunday video next week. On June 6th, the kickoff show for the Summer Game Fest will happen. Last year the biggest reveals were LEGO Horizon, a new trailer for Phantom Blade Zero, Wukong, the second trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds. It was totally one of the weaker years, but yeah, previous years before that we had the Spider-Man 2 release date, so maybe Ghost of Yotei shows up here with that announcement. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth ended the show once with the first like big gameplay trailer. We got the big Elden Ring reveal of course previously. It really depends on the years, and 2025 is of course stacked, so I'm expecting some fun stuff at the show. We'll of course do more in-depth predictions closer to the event. Xbox also announced their showcase for June 8th, followed by an Outer Worlds 2 Direct. So where last year Call of Duty and the year before Starfield got the extra in-depth look after the summer showcase, it's now Outer Worlds 2. Like on one end, nice that they give a more AA game comparatively the spotlight this time, but it's also telling if you were expecting Gears of War E-Day or something in 2025. That's not happening. And with Fable of course delayed as well, it really seems like the second half of the year for Xbox will be Call of Duty. Again, I think some sort of Starfield DLC with the PS5 launch, the Gears of War collection, and Outer Worlds 2. You would think that game also launches in the summer of death, right? So again, way too many titles coming out around that time. Ecstasis, who has been right before, says that we can expect the Gears collection, Silksong, a Persona 4 remake, a Ninja Gaiden 4 that Microsoft is of course also publishing, and Minecraft Dungeons 2. So I'm kind of tempering my expectations overall. Feels like we won't get any huge new reveals, but updates on Perfect Dark and Fable and maybe more PS5 announcements I think would be cool. Let me know what you of course hope in the comments down below, and also we'll do more in-depth predictions closer to the reveal. Time for a quick rumor roundup where we look at the biggest leaks and rumors of the week, and I give stars, with 3 being I believe it and 1 being let's take this with a huge grain of salt. Of course Mafia could be in here, but I put it at the start of the video. Last week I gave 2 stars to Titanfall 3, but this week they were pretty much debunked by Jeff Grubb, who has a way better track record than the original leaker. So seems like the dream for Titanfall 3 once again dies. Let's just never expect it, and then hopefully we will be surprised. The same Jeff Grubb expects the Oblivion remake to be shadow dropped in April. We heard of course many rumblings about this. Still has not happened of course, but the month is still young. I will keep believing. I will give this 3 stars. I think that it will not be this coming week, but the week after, if I had to be a betting man. Because that is the only week Microsoft does not have a release in April yet. Because this coming week they got Indiana Jones on PS5. So shadow dropping this other Bethesda title on top of it doesn't make a lot of sense. And they got Forza Horizon of course at the end of the month for PS5. But yeah, of course every week we look at what's coming in the next 7 days. So on April 14th they will announce year 2 for Skull and Bones. And it seems to include sword fighting. So they still plan to turn this around. I'm curious, I think I will actually react to this during my weekly Monday stream. Link to that in the video description. Hope as always, of course, that you can join. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is getting a hardcore mode on April 15th for if you hate your life. I mean, respect if you're playing this game on hardcore mode. Of course, The Last of Us Season 2 is airing finally. So tons of good stuff coming your way. We'll of course have some Assassin's Creed Shadows videos with the Sunday video like this at the end of the week. So subscribe to not miss anything, a like would really help me out. And check out our previous video on Hogwarts Legacy mods that are really cool by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon, goodbye.